This week on the podcast, it's just the boys. We've got Naraka Bladepoint, Fashion Police Squad, and a new bill in the Senate. All of that and more in this week's episode of the podcast. Roll the intro. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Greenlee. Green, how you doing today?
I'm incredibly sunburnt. My shoulders hurt. I went to a lake in Kansas City Kansas actually, this weekend, and I did not wear any sunscreen against my better judgment. So now I'm very itchy and sore, and I think it's starting to peel already, and I'm just not having a good time. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of in the same boat. So I had a work function that was out on the hot concrete of our parking lot, and I was taking photos, and I did not wear sunscreen, and sunburnt my forehead. So now I have a wonderful peeling forehead that looks great when I walk into the office.
That's hot.
This week, we are joined by Revsven, Padre, the powerful, the beautiful. How are you doing?
I am tired, man. It's been a crazy 3 weeks for me. It's been wild.
Yeah. So I feel like we just have to rip the Band-Aid off now. Rev, what's been going on? Tell us.
All right. So the reason I've been absent from the podcast is I recently started a job as the community manager for the anime verticals for Loot Crate. I'm also taking on responsibilities in terms of streaming and creating content through video and stuff like that, trying to rally the community back together and everything, which in turn has eaten up any free time I had prior, which leads to the big announcement. This will be my last week as an official co-host of the podcast, but I will be a recurring guest.
Yes. Yep. So with that, I do want to get into the question of the week because Rev, you have been an amazing partner in this endeavor. You really have.
Stunning.
What's that?
Completely stunning.
Stunning.
That I knew, but
when Ren left the show almost 2 years ago, you were one of the first people I thought of to replace him. You and Green were some of the first people I thought of, and it's just been an amazing time to get to know you better, to work with you, to collaborate with you. It's been wonderful. So I do have a question of the week this week. In honor of Rev's farewell, what is your favorite Rev moment on the show? Let us know, what review, what running gag, what moment of Revsven being on the show has been your favorite? I could probably name 3 or 4. I absolutely. The our running gag about the Switch, the Joy-Cons. Oh man,
I love that you just kind of recently realized of all the random shit that I do during the podcast, the random facial expressions and movements and things like that.
Because chewing on a pen randomly, looking like a fucking goat.
Yeah. Or I'll just randomly toss something in the air, miss it, and just proceed like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So many water bottles.
So many water bottles. Chewing on so many water bottle caps.
Yeah, swallowing some of them.
So guys, let us know your favorite Rev moment on the show in the YouTube comments or in the Twitch chat, or you guys can tweet at us. You can tweet at me at Danny K, or you can tweet at Sven at Revsven. Let us know your favorite. Green, I didn't ask you what's some of your favorite Revsven moments on the show.
I would definitely say the outro is never going to be the same, because it always goes bye and then mwah and then I love you. So it's never going to be the same, but I mean, life happens.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and like kind of clarify on the only reason that I do have to step down is because of consistency issues. Because whenever we get ready to do certain crate launches, it is going to require me to work different shifts throughout the week. Because I kind of am in control of my own shifts for the most part, but there are days where I'm going to have to work later, and it would end up making it to where I couldn't work on the podcast. And just out of professionalism for the show and not not knowing it, I feel it would be better to just go on being a guest as opposed to, are you going to be able to join us this week? And like, I can't this week kind of thing.
Yeah. This is not a mommy and daddy or a daddy and daddy fighting situation. Daddy and daddy are not fighting. This isn't a divorce at all. This is very amicable. And I am super stoked for you, Rev. I mean, working with that company is a great opportunity for you, and it's a great place for your career to go. Someone just asked, who's the mommy? I think you know. You don't have to ask that question. If you had a name on the tip of your tongue when you ask that question, that's your answer. So this week is the end of our 3-year giveaway. We were doing a meme contest. We were going to do like a pre-show thing, but there's only like 4 entries, and I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty easy for me to snag the winners and to go on ahead and grab the memes and post them on Twitter. And our winners, let me get their ats real quick.
Drum roll.
For my fingertips.
Speak
of the devil.
Speak of the devil. Our number one, he did just pop up in the chat. So our first place winner for the meme contest is Maxidemicus. I never know how to pronounce it. I always just call him Max. Maximus Decimus.
You could have had 150,000 people enter this meme contest, and Max probably still would have been the winner. It was just it was such a quality meme. Like, no disrespect to any of the other people who made memes, but that one was just so damn
intricate.
Quality.
It was very intricate.
And here's the thing, is that it perfectly encapsulated the show.
Yeah.
Like, he knows us. So yeah, congratulations to him on first place. I know we kind of do this backwards, but do we want to go like a for second place? Second place is the Chocolade.
The resident historian.
The resident historian of Next to Nothing. So yes, Max won the $60 gift card of his choice to the platform of his choice, and Chocolade won a free NTN mug.
Woo! I still use my NTN mug from the anniversary store opening. It's a beautiful mug.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if I announced it this year because I here's a little known secret, is that I like the last 2 times that I've done merch for the show, I said it was limited edition, and then I just never closed the store because I kept forgetting. So it was never really limited edition. So if you guys want merch, you guys can get merch. It's going to be open all year round. No more of me pretending that it's limited edition. Again, it's not that I even like pretended that it was limited edition because it was going to be, because it was intended to be. It was intended to be. It was intended to only be open for like a month because I just didn't want to manage it. But because of the fact that I didn't want to manage it, I also forgot to close it.
It was just limited marketing is all it was.
Yeah.
It's still limited, just limited marketing.
Limited marketing, yeah. I stopped paying attention to it after a month. The store never went down. Yeah, so I think the only bit of housekeeping that we need to do now is to say, guys, we appreciate you for watching and listening. We hope that you guys get value out of the show. If you do, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment on this YouTube video. Also, if you guys miss any part of the show, if you're live, You guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And if you're watching us or listening on any of those platforms, you can catch us live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday. With that, Green.
Yeah.
Get to the blade point.
Oh, you suck so much. Yeah. So I was gifted a new game by the High M Bigs. And it released on August 12th or August 11th at like 10 o'clock. This is definitely a game that is more like foreign foreign developed, and I think it's mainly popular in like China and Japan area. It does have English like dub and English AI or UI and stuff like that. It's called Naraka Bladepoint. It is I want to say Soul Calibur esque, anime ish, battle royale. So there's technically guns in it, but they're not like normal, FPS guns. It's not like Call of Duty. Um, each character that there's like I think 8 characters that you can right off the bat use, and then there's one that you get because you pre-ordered the game if you bought it before the 12th. And each character has like a special ability. Like they have like a quick ability, like a tactical, and then like an ultimate move. All right. Um, they're all like different play styles, I would say. But essentially, the whole concept is to be the last person or trio team alive. There's like a combat intricacy. When you load in it, it's very similar to Ring of Elysium, where you select on the map where you want to go when you first launch, so you're not jumping out of a balloon or something and landing on the ground. And then scattered around, there's like bins that you can open, and then they'll either drop weapons, armor, and their way of like reloading weapons, because a lot of them are melee type weapons, is that you have to repair your weapons, or they won't do as much damage, or they're unusable. You can also pick up they're like berries that heal you, and then armor powder, which repairs your armor, like Call of Duty's armor plates or shield batteries in Apex. So there's spears, katanas, long swords, great swords. There's a musket, a pistol, which is more like a old school, like not even like a pistol, like a musket pistol, like a flintlock. It's more of like a hand cannon. You can load like more bullets in it the more you hold down like the trigger to shoot. And it almost turns into like a shotgun pistol. And then there's an actual cannon. Like you pick up a cannon and you're holding a cannon and you shoot that. Um, the fighting is kind of like it's kind of like a Souls-esque style where you can dash, and then you can counter attack. I know on PC if you right click and left click at the same time while they're attacking you, it will counter their attack. And then you have a stamina bar, and you can dash depending on if you have enough stamina. And then to sprint, you essentially shift to dash, and then you hold that direction, and then you start running. I think the biggest mechanic for movement in this game is you can pick up grappling spools, and they're like essentially grappling hooks that you launch, and you can uh, click on walls, and it will take you up to the wall or on a tree. You can climb in trees. You can actually wall climb straight up. And then if there's like a ledge on the wall, you can jump. So as far as I'm aware, wall climbing is indefinite until there's like the end of the wall or like a lip on the wall. So grappling hooks are essentially a faster way to get up on a ledge or somewhere, but you can wall climb. Um, there's nothing in the game that I found that you couldn't climb. Um, the biggest gripe I had about this game was like when I first started, like the first 2 matches I played were clearly bot players. Just to get you like familiar with the gameplay and stuff like that. Um, the combat was definitely interesting. When I first started, I felt like a god because I was dropping like 20, 25 kills. But then when I actually like played a match with real people, it definitely got interesting. Like I wouldn't say it was like insane, but there was definitely better players than me. People who've been playing since beta, because apparently this game has had multiple betas before. Um, and like when you watch the video on the Steam page, they say that they had like over 100,000 concurrent players during the beta. So I never heard of the game until Biggs told me about it, like 2 days before launch. So they do have some like treasure packs as well. Like the loot, essentially the loot crate. You can earn them. They do have a battle pass system as well. And then, uh, yeah, it, I want to say the game is very pretty. It looks cool. The combat is so for me. It didn't feel like there was a whole bunch of like give us money kind of things, other than like you could get extra cosmetic skins for each character, or you could buy more treasure packs to get more cosmetics and stuff like that. Um, the character designs were cool. There's like only one character that I found that was like, titties, and it's yeah. Which she also has a skin that I think is like you can purchase for gold. That looks better than her original skin. That actually makes it a little bit more modest. But I mean, if that's something you like, if you like anime titties, I mean, you know, that might be your character. Her combat style is very aggressive too. That's why I like to play her. Her name's Yoto uh Yoto Hamai, I think is how you pronounce it. She's like each character has like backstory and stuff too, which is really cool. Like as you play the character, you'll get like a prologue and like a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 of like their lore and their information and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool too. And as you do those, you get like a treasure pack and stuff like that. Same with the weapons. Like as you use the weapons, you'll actually get like rewards for using the weapons. Like I got a skin for a great sword, which is super fun to use because it's just a giant like that bone sword from Monster Hunter back in the day, like just massive. So, um, but all the weapons feel pretty balanced. They do have like a tier list as well. Like there's like a gray spear, and then all the way up to like there's a gold spear. So, I don't know if there's like a damage increase with like the level of the sword. I know that the uh amount to repair is more. So like a gray, say long sword may have 30 hits and then you'll need to repair it versus like the purple will take 60 hits. So um I think the only thing that I really complained about uh during like gameplay was like the amount of shields, like to find armor. Um, there were very few and far in between, and like there was one match I started where the only thing I could find was like a gray armor, and someone like landed super close to me, and they got a purple armor, which was takes more damage. So, which is the standard battle royale RNG, but if they could balance that somehow, that would be great.
Nice,
I
nice.
have a question about gameplay. One thing I noticed, I was watching the thing on the video, and it the movement looked very Dark Souls esque.
It was this very reminiscent of like Dark Souls, where you can dodge and you can counterattack. So
Interesting. Yeah, like that
and you
was
can
one
also
thing that
use
really stood
grapple.
out to me was like
Yeah,
because it's like whenever you get to take off running, it had that kind of like stagger step before you get to your full blown run and everything. Like it almost looked like I was watching a Souls like, but as a
yeah.
battle royale.
And one thing I forgot to mention is like the grapple hook. Like if you are near an enemy, you can click the button to grapple, and like it will automatically lock onto them, and then you can essentially grapple them and get close to them.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So, but quicker.
So,
So,
with it being like that Souls like dodge and counterattack combat, did you notice any problems with like server latency? Because it's a 60-player game, from what I'm seeing, and I imagine that would be a problem
no, I
with combat that would be like frame counted essentially.
no, I don't think it was like I didn't notice anything like that. I also didn't notice any like lag or anything from another character or anything like that. But I think the biggest issue with that style of combat, and why I say it's like a so-so for me, is like the camera frame is kind of jittery to keep up with. So like you could hard dash and try to get away from a fight, and like it almost feels like the camera's kind of struggling to keep up. Um, which is it's not horrible. It's just something I've noticed, and it's not like a deal breaker for me. It just feels kind of jittery,
Yeah, yeah.
but no character issues for me. Like any anyone like hitting me from a mile away or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know.
Yeah. So I was doing some looking here on Steam.
Hmm.
Did we want to get over like the price and stuff like that real quick?
I believe it's 1999 or
It is.
1995. Yeah.
It is 19.99. Um, for that price point, how do you feel about it?
Um, I personally I would see if you can find it on sale. This is definitely like no hunt showdown where it's like it definitely worth like the $40.
Mm-hmm.
19. I mean, it's a little bit easier to spend $20 on a game than it is for a game that's $40 to $60.
Yeah.
But like it just really depends. If you're really into like Persona games and like anime fighting games, then I would say yeah, it would probably be worth the 19.99. For me, uh, I'm more of a first person shooter. This game definitely I had fun when I first started it. The tutorial was great. Like everything looks good. Like it looks pretty. The game looks pretty. Like all the areas and stuff. It almost kind of like reminds me of like Spellbreak as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
especially like the landscaping, but like more uh anime style. I guess the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't regret paying 19.99 for it.
Got you.
But it's like a very close to I'm very close to saying wait for a sale.
Mm-hmm. For anyone that's interested in it, I do have the system requirements. Did we already go over those? I don't think we did.
No, we did not.
Minimum specifications: Windows 10 64-bit, Intel i5 4th gen, or an AMD FX 6300, 8 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 Ti or equivalent. You need 20 gigs of space on your hard drive, and they recommend getting that on an SSD for more streamlined experience. The minimum specs they say can run at 720p 60 frames per second, which I'm assuming, because this is kind of a fighting game, right, where dodging and rolling is very important, you probably want to be at that 60 frames per second mark. Um, yeah. Anything else about Naraka Bladepoint they want to mention?
I don't think so. I think I covered it. If you had any questions, feel free.
I'm trying to think. I think you covered everything that I had a question about.
I just had the comment on the Souls like movement.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I was watching and I was just like, huh.
It's really fun like watching it too. Like when you're using like the armor powder, like if your armor is damaged, like it's literally they're slapping powder on themselves, and they always have like a voice line or something, and especially like when you're repairing your weapon. Like I know one of the character I was using, the Yoto, she's like, now you'll be able to taste like enemy blood and stuff like that instead of rust. I'm like, that's kind of metal. All right, okay, okay.
Fucking metal.
Metal's fuck.
Metal as fuck. Question for you. How fashionable would you say these characters are? Like the art designs and stuff. Pretty fashionable?
Yeah. No need to call the fashion police on them.
Damn. Damn. So good. You saw where I was leading you. You saw where I was leading you. I am so proud of you. Yeah, I played a game called the Fashion Police Squad. Yeah, I only played the demo. The game has not been released yet. It's a really interesting game, actually. I was pleasantly surprised and delighted with it. So the Fashion Police Squad is a first-person shooter game by Multiple Games and is being published by No More Robots. It's currently in its demo phase, like I mentioned, with a slated release of 2022. In this game, you play as a member of the Fashion Police Squad, an elite squad who protects the city from heinous fashion crimes like drab suits, loose pants, and neon clothing. The game plays, and as if you guys are watching the stream, the game plays like a boomer shooter, kind of older classic FPS games like Quake or Doom. It's got a great pixelated art style. I really love the art style. It's very sleek, bright, charming. It's very readable, very easy to understand what's on the screen, which is great. The music of this game is very retro as well, and it brings up nostalgia, but nostalgia that I can't quite place. Like, I can't quite figure out what it reminds me of, which is a good thing, also a bad thing, because every time I hear it, it bothers me. I'm like, where the fuck have I heard this melody before? Like, I can't figure out where I've heard this melody. If I had to take a guess at where it, like, maybe is triggering that nostalgia for me, is I feel like I've heard it in an arcade machine. Like a Streets of Rage or something like that. I'm not quite sure. The game's writing is really funny in a cheeky and wholesome kind of way. And I will say that this game overall is very, very wholesome. Like it does not, it's not like malicious. It's not crude. It's not vulgar. It is very, very, very wholesome. The main character that you play, the player character, is named Sergeant Dez. He is the epitome of a himbo. Like, good at his job, doesn't pick up on clues at all. Like, there's this mysterious character who wears like a trench coat and everything like that. That he's like dark and mysterious, and he knows things. And Sergeant Daz is like, oh, he just must know this. He's not connected to like whatever's happening. No, there's no other reason other than he just might be like a friend, right? But being as goofy and a little naive as he is super sincere in his pursuit of fashion justice. The demo is pretty short. It took me about an hour to complete. Steam says it took me 95 minutes, but I also left it open while I was cooking breakfast. So it's probably closer to an hour than an hour and a half. The game does a really good job of explaining what you are doing and how to do it, which is excellent. For example, the enemies that you need to defeat. The most common enemy, the first enemy that you run into, is a man in like a boring suit. And it explains that the gun that you're using is basically a color gun. And that when you hit these guys with color, they're going to turn like non-hostile. Like you saved them from their fashion crimes. There's enemies who need to be beaten with other methods. So there are like these dudes on scooters who are really fast, who are wearing like bright neon like t-shirts and shorts, right? And you don't beat them by adding color, you beat them by taking away color. And so with them, it's right clicking to like drain their color. Actually, you can see that on the screen right now. It's like these guys like in bright neon clothes. So yeah, you right click. There are like these tanky dudes who are in like big ill-fitted suits that you defeat by like shooting them with basically like a staple gun that like cinches up the clothing. There are these guys who have like sagging pants and blow vape at you that you defeat with like your belt that you use like as a whip, and you know you tighten their pants for them.
Pootie Tang style.
What's that?
Pootie Tang style.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers the movie Pootie Tang.
I loved Pootie Tang.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going
It's
to
classic.
Shame.
Classic.
Shame.
But yeah, so like knowing like the enemies and knowing what you need to defeat them and having the tools to defeat them is really awesome. There is a whole thing with your belt where you like do some like Spider-Man swinging on like flagpoles that are like around the map, which is pretty fun. It takes you a minute to kind of get used to it. I will say most everything feels really responsive in this game, except for some of the parkour elements. Like something that I noticed was like when you're in the air, you're very floaty. And so when like you're trying to get onto a ledge, I struggled for sure to like get on ledges and to get onto different parts of the map so I can move. Just because of how floaty it felt, which was not particularly great. I wish that's I hope that's something they tighten up a little bit for the full release. I did get all the way to the boss fight. It took me 2 tries to beat the boss. It was like this businessman who like throws gold bricks at you. Oh, there is something actually I just realized I should probably show. You also have like this ultimate where in tight situations you like kind of go Super Saiyan, everything kind of gets shiny and stuff, and you can go and just like karate chop and one hit people, which is pretty dope. Your character like
slap some fashion sense into him.
Exactly. You get a fashion. You just get a fucking bitch slap people. It's wonderful. But those sections seem to be pretty scripted. Like when there's like a lot of enemies, like in a particular area, that seems to be when you get to do it. But yeah, overall, game is good. I'm excited to see what comes out of this project. If I had to, depending on how many levels there were, I would say this is probably a $30, maybe $40 game when it comes out on release. If everything is as well polished as the demo and it has the levels to back it up, I think that would, a good $30 to $40 game. Hopefully get 5 or 6 hours of gameplay out of it, and then I could see this being a speedrunning game for sure. Well, do you have you had to look like you're about to say something?
You got my attention with speedrunning.
Yes. Yeah, I could see this being a good speedrunning game for sure. Overall, I like it. I'm excited to see what comes out of it. It's wholesome. It's wonderful. It's really nice to see like a wholesome shooter, right? That's pretty refreshing. I like the concept. I think the concept is fun and refreshing as well. So yeah. Any other thoughts, questions?
Not on my end. No, I do have one. So when you say it's floaty, do you mean like that whole kind of deal, like where your momentum kind of carries you further than what you anticipate, or floaty is in like how Quake Champions was, where it's just like you jump, but compared to the speed of the movement on the ground, your speed in the air is just not quite there?
Your momentum kind of carries you. You can also move a little bit in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. That was like the momentum carrying me a little bit further than what I thought was definitely a big problem. Cause yeah, there are like areas where where you're like trying to get like on top of like a garbage can or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, I missed this jump twice. Like, why have I missed this jump twice? It's just me getting onto a garbage can from like a ledge. So
okay,
yeah. Hopefully that makes sense to people who are listening. Green, thoughts, opinions, questions?
No, I think you covered it really, really good. I liked watching the video. I like the pixel meets like 3D was really cool.
Yeah. So for anyone who's listening, the art style is pixelated, but the environment is 3D. Very much like old Doom games. Like the very first Doom, where everything is still like pixel art, but the environment is 3D, so it's like coming at you in 3D. But yeah. Anything else?
Not for me.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there. Thanks for listening to the podcast. This year, I'm bringing you guys even more merch featuring a simple black design with our new logo. Get a classic Eco Tee for $18. Stay warm and cozy with our classic crew neck sweatshirt for $20. And stay cool with our tank tops for only $15. And of course, it wouldn't be a new merch lineup without some mugs. Get our new mug for $10. And brand new to our merch lineup, get a 20-ounce stainless steel tumbler for only $20. Prices subject to Teespring fees plus shipping and handling. For more information, see the link in the episode description. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
No.
So that's happening, Rev.
I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it didn't go back.
I really like. I got a pretty mouth, boy.
Tell me something I don't know.
So this welcome back to the show, guys. This is gonna be a real quick, just like for your information thing, in case this is like your primary news source, which I can't imagine is anyone's case. Quick note, if you're a T-Mobile customer and you haven't heard yet, T-Mobile has confirmed there has been a data leak and 100 million people have had their data released. It includes their social security number, phone numbers, names, addresses, driver's licenses, and other information. If you feel like you've been impacted by this leak, consult with your financial institution for proper steps to take. Just something I wanted to add. Yeah. But I feel like we have a bigger, more impressing thing than just your phone bill. In fact, it's a Senate bill.
Ooh, big money.
So last Wednesday, a bipartisan group of senators introduced a bill that, in essence, would ban app stores like Apple or the Apple App Store or the Google App Play Store from requiring in-app commission fees on sales. The bill was introduced by Connecticut Democrat Richard Blumenthal and was signed on to by Tennessee Republican Marsha Blackburn and Minnesota Democrat Amy Klobuchar. Blumenthal said that he expects a companion legislation to be entered into the House, and Colorado Republican Ken Buck has signaled that he may be the one to bring it forward. These fees, which typically impose a $30 commission fee, 30% commission on app developers to sell in-app purchases, have been the center of a lot of controversy. Very specifically, as we have mentioned many times, the Epic versus Apple lawsuit and Epic versus Google lawsuit. And a big reason why we mentioned it on this show is because a lot of times those fees are passed down to consumers. If a app developer has to give up 30% of $1, that's 30 cents. They get to take home 70 cents on that then gets taxed. They're more than likely going to raise the cost to offset that commission fee. Both Apple and Google have suggested that the reason this is because for these fees is because they offer a secure and safe place for both customers and developers. Although some stories and research obviously begs to differ. And so their argument, like I said, is we're providing a safe, secure place. We're also, bringing customers to you. Without us offering this store, you would not have a place to sell and therefore would have no customers, which is not accurate. It's only accurate if you take into account the fact that Apple only allows you to install apps from their app store, meaning they're the only game in town. Mm-hmm.
There are no third-party apps.
No third-party apps. Only web apps. Blumenthal himself told CNBC that the argument is, quote, is to quote protect and maintain their monopoly position. He also went on to say, quote, "It is not only disingenuous, it's ironic because they're the ones who are actually invading privacy and stealing data from the developers, and all the while they're saying, oh, well, we're the privacy protectors. In fact, our legislation in Section 4 had specific provision that protects privacy, even more than it is now." So this kind of argument is totally bogus, and I think it's going to be absolutely transparent that actually privacy would be better protected with this legislation. And as a side note, I will say I agree with that notion, especially as we've seen Apple announce they would be scanning phones for abusive content and sharing that with law enforcement. And very specifically, I'm going to say abusive towards children in a very specific manner. Can't say much else because of how YouTube and other platforms regulate that particular phrase. But that is, I hope you guys can understand what I'm alluding to there.
We don't want to end up on a list.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not want to end up on a list. Which, of course, that seems good on the surface, right? But that technology can be turned to detect anything and shared with governments, like the Chinese Communist Party or the American government, right?
It's the People's Republic of China. Okay.
That might be the country name, but the party that runs it is the Chinese Communist Party. Actually. Right, so we know that these companies don't necessarily have our privacy best in mind. Apple likes to sell, and I thought maybe they were going to be doing better than what they were, but they like to say that they're the most private and secure platform, but obviously they can change on a whim to suit their needs. So with that, guys in the chat, let us know, and in the YouTube comments, what you guys think. But I'm going to go around the horn here. Rev, what do you think of this legislation?
I think it's crazy that bipartisan legislation actually seems to be working out in the people's favor.
Damn, that is a hot take.
Like, I think it's crazy that they actually want to work together to take down, these things that allow them to continue to make ungodly amounts of profit while restricting the publishing availability on certain devices. So it's like, wow, did somebody take their hands out of the government's pockets, or are they just like feigning security? Like, we're not actually it's not going to go through. It's going to get shot down. This is just like a posturing move. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I have a theory as to why it's bipartisan. Democrats and people on the left want to see these companies broken down or divided through antitrust laws, and Republicans don't like them because these companies, quote unquote, control the media and censor and ban conservative viewpoints. That's the reason.
That's fair.
Neither party likes these companies.
Yeah, because both of those, like the two big ones, the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, both had, what was that, Parler or whatever, like, taken down.
Yeah.
And so the Republicans are like, man, fuck big media, because that's how apparently everybody on the right sounds, I guess. But
I just know that I won't have to worry about this because I'm getting myself a Freedom phone.
Oh my.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Because I'm proud to be an American.
Or at least I know I'm free.
Even though my phone is made in China.
Green, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, I hopefully it's something that can actually work out, like something for the people, like general consumers. So I don't know. I personally am not like huge with like government, setting regulations and stuff like that, but like if that's what's necessary, then by all means, like, especially as I said, as long as it helps the consumer, I'm all for it. I'm game.
Yeah.
And like I feel bad for app developers, that especially like the smaller devs that have to fork over this money, and then it took like one company making millions that was tired of having millions taken away from them to actually make anything out of it with Epic versus Apple.
Yeah.
So for the the government to actually see like stuff like this happening and actually like talking about it is I think a step in the right direction.
Yeah, which I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. I like the idea of the legislation. I like the intent, but I am very skeptical of legislation, and I really would have preferred this come down to legal precedents rather than legislation. I would rather have not seen this be like passed in a bill. I would rather have seen a court case like Epic versus Apple set legal precedents and go from there. Especially because I'd be concerned with how strong the legislation is. How many loopholes can companies find, right? How enforceable is it going to be? Who's actually going to enforce it, right? Is the FTC going to enforce this? Is this going to be their responsibility? And will key provisions actually survive the bill process? Right? How many of the provisions in this bill that would give it strength and what's the word I'm looking for? Strength and power. There we go. I guess that'll work. Sure. Right. Strength and weight, strength and girth. Yeah. Will that survive the process? And because it's got to survive the process in both the House and the Senate. Right. And then it has to be reconciled between the two. And then, so yeah. Is it actually going to survive? I don't know. That's why I would have rather have seen this played out in the court of law, and then people could point to that precedence and say, according to this court case, you can't do this or you can do this.
Dun dun.
Right? Yeah.
My biggest thing is like how many of these politicians, these elected officials, like understand what's going on, you know? Like the Facebook hearing with Mark Zuckerberg, and they're like, they repeatedly ask the same questions over and over again because they don't understand what Facebook is.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit because this is more of a store thing than it is. This is a commerce thing than it is a social media thing, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's like, oh, Walmart is charging, because you just have to explain it to them like, oh, if Walmart charged 15% just to have your box of cereal on the store shelves, is that fair? And is it fair if Walmart is literally the only grocery store in the entire country? Or like,
what does this app do?
yeah, right. So it's like, or like to better explain it, it's like, okay, east of the Mississippi you have Walmart, and west of the Mississippi you have Kroger. And they both get to charge food manufacturers, cereal companies, 15%, 30% just to have their cereal on the shelves. And that price gets passed down to consumers who are then further taxed on that. And if you're a small cereal producer, right, if you're a startup cereal company making
Malto-meal.
Yeah, Malto-meal or Sugar Puffs, right? You have to pay that, and it's already difficult for you to break through the market, right? So that's the basic argument. I think senators can understand that argument.
Yeah.
I think Chuck Grassley, in his 3 million years on the fucking face of this earth, could probably understand that.
In 2.999 million years of that spent in office, by the way.
Yeah.
I had to point that out because, like, career, politician.
Yeah.
Man came out of the womb writing bills. Okay, literally fucking out of the womb. Like, this is what's gonna happen in Iowa.
Yeah. And
golly.
Yeah, he just screams about Benghazi in his stupid turtle voice. I know everyone says Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle, but fucking Chuck Grassley sounds like one.
Mitch McConnell looks like the so the fucking pants.
Yeah, the blind man from Pants. Mitch McConnell looks like what I imagine a lizard person would look like.
Yeah, he looks like someone who's like in an ill-fitting skin suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need sugar water. More.
Is that better?
So yeah, this bill seems like a gamble. Do you guys want to talk about gambling on Twitch?
Oh, this son of a bitch.
I'm on a roll today. I'm on a roll. Just like how people keep rolling the dice on Twitch. Hey,
what's that? Double whammy.
Double whammy. You guys
got a twofer.
Yeah, you guys get 2 fucking segues. So Twitch has made an announcement that they will now be preventing streamers from sharing referral codes or affiliate links to gambling websites on the platform. Recently, gambling streams have become really popular, and with large and recognizable creators being forces in the trend, such as XQC and Trainwrecks. Which XQC got banned recently, I think, for something related to this, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
You
like
guys,
it wasn't really like made. I still haven't seen any official stuff. It's just the timing kind of lines up with the whole anti-gambling thing.
gotcha.
Okay with it.
Get some strong feelings about XQC over there.
Yeah, he said some very naughty things on the platform and still is on the platform.
Yeah.
So
So lots of creators have been on the opposite side of this position, including Pokimane, Asmongold, Critical, and others, and have been debating the harmful effects of the content, often citing harm to underage viewers. Which I want to take a quick aside and bemoan this new think of the children mindset everyone's been having lately. Like, why have we all been adopting think of the children? We don't need to protect kids from literally everything. And we creators don't need to be doing the jobs of parents and bending over backwards to make sure that people who shouldn't be seeing our content don't see it. Just putting that out there, right?
Not wrong.
Um,
Not wrong.
yeah. So just that's a quick aside. It's been bothering me a lot lately. I see a lot of people basically being like puritanical on like all things and being think of the children. No, parents.
By the way, XQC got reinstated only 4 hours of being banned.
Oh Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Thanks, Twitch.
Unfortunate.
Not even 24 hours.
Mm-mm.
No. By the way, anyone who has questions on like why are people watching streamers just do slot machines, I was actually having a discussion with somebody yesterday about this story because I was trying to figure out some advertising regulations on this. And they asked like why would you even watch someone do slot machines? And my theory is because most video games have slot machines built into them anyways. Loot boxes are just slot machines. So if your favorite creator already like buys a bunch of Overwatch crates to open up on stream, or a bunch of FIFA Ultimate Team, boxes or whatever to open up on stream,
Apex packs,
packs,
heirlooms,
right? CS:GO, gun skins, right? Like it's all like those are all just slot machines in a sense, right?
They really are.
So it's the next it is like the next logical step to like, oh, I watch him open up CS:GO crates. Now I'm just gonna watch him open up or put money into an online slot machine. Woo! So there have been a lot of takes, and I don't. We can't go over all of them. I feel like if people are really interested in this conversation, they can go and look for those takes themselves. But I kind of want to go around the horn again. Green, we started with you last time. Green, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've never been like a fan of like gambling, but if they have their channels set to mature audience, like I get it, they should be able to do the gambling, but I think like the biggest issue that I think is that they have the affiliate links to it, right? So, what's to stop someone from using that affiliate link that shouldn't, like everyone's been on a website where you had to put your age in and you weren't that age. Like, come on now. So, like,
are you calling me out, sir?
What?
Are you calling me out, sir?
I mean, I've done it. I mean, shit. Like, I do it on Steam. Every time there's a rated M game, like, I'm not putting my full birth date in there. I'm changing it to 1993, and I'm done with it. Like, fuck, I'm not giving you my birth month and birthday. Like, fuck.
I do the same thing.
So, like, there's a possibility of that happening, but then it does boil down to like, what are you letting your kids do? Like, I don't feel the responsibility should fall on the streamer. Well, I would like the XQC ban, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and XQC did say that he stopped doing the streams because, quote, addiction. Like he said, like, I'm
I mean,
addicted.
I think it's a shitty stream and concept in general, just like hot tub streams. But that's just my opinion. You can at me on Twitter at Mr. Ginley. I don't give a shit.
Do it.
I'll fight anyone. Like, I don't care. Like, hot tub streams and gambling streams are stupid.
Rev, what do you think?
My whole thought on the entire thing, honestly, I think a lot of the problem boils down to the idea of setting your stream to mature as opposed to having an actual age. Like, the whole thing, anybody, like, if you ever notice, it's always like it's set to mature. It's not 18 and up or anything like that. So it opens up that kind of can of worms of, the whole gambling thing. Can't really do that in front, like the whole kids thing. It's like kids are accepting that they're mature, because that could be a very open-ended term anyways. Like, oh, I mean, I'm only 16, but I'm a very mature 16, so what difference does it make? Yada, yada, yada. But honestly, like, the biggest issue for me is as long as Twitch ends up turning it into like instituting it into their actual TOS and enforces it, that's where the problem always lies. It has nothing to do, honestly, with the content itself. It's the fact that it's whether or not it's within Twitch's guidelines, like within their TOS, and they're actually going to follow through with enforcing them equally and fairly, which they won't. Example, I mean, let's just say theoretically, XQC did get banned for 4 hours for streaming gambling. It doesn't matter if that's a hard offense on TOS. XQC makes him so much money, he's not going to stay banned. Just like a lot of these other streamers that kind of push the limits on what they put out there content wise in regards to pushing those TOS lines. It's dumb. Like I'm with Green on the whole thing with the gambling being just like a kind of a dumb form of content anyways. But I mean, there's a vast difference between that and the hot tub streams, though, because you are dealing with the legality of the age limits of gambling versus people chilling in a hot tub. So with the gambling thing, I don't believe that should be really allowed on Twitch anyways. But then again, what's to say it's any different than the only real difference between that and like watching somebody set and open loot boxes is the legal definition of gambling and how loot boxes haven't been legally defined as gambling yet, no matter how much we think it is, versus the fact that they're actually by legal definition gambling. And that, but then again, I mean, how long have people been playing poker?
Yeah, I was actually just gonna ask about that. Like, what? I mean, these are just slots, which slots are pure chance,
right? And that's what I was about to mention that with the idea, right? Allegedly. But yeah, that also does come down to a difference in that, because when it comes to poker, there is strategy involved that can better or worsen your chances. It's not just completely random. So I could see where that kind of might get skewed a little, because it is like it's essentially like a multiplayer game involving money. But
I did throw hot tub in there, hot tub streams, simply for the fact that I dislike hot tub streams. I think they're stupid content. Not that it's like illegal in any format. It's just I think they're dumb.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you were just trying to throw a take in there to get people riled up. But
I want you to hate me.
But anyways, yeah, no, it's just like the when it comes down to it, like full blown RNG gambling, I don't believe should be really allowed, because of the fact that it is it's not a website that requires people to verify their age, and you like even if you do have to put in the lie of I am over the age of 18, it's different. It's different than it is if you just anybody 13 and up, and all you have to do is say you're mature. There's nothing saying that you're 18 and over in that. So I don't know. It's a slippery slope that Twitch is really falling down in a lot more categories than just that. There are a lot more problems that they need to worry about, and it kind of seems like they're getting lazy. And that's just something I've been watching from the outside, since I haven't been doing any actual content creation in the last 3 weeks. I'm seeing a lot of people getting these hate raids, a lot of people quitting, and then now, but their focus is on people sharing affiliate links and gambling. I mean, I personally, I think if like if gambling's the only way you can really make money with affiliate links, and that's just kind of sad. Like, I don't know, it's just trying to convince other people to gamble. That's
Yeah. Well, and I will say the rule itself is weak, right? Because it only bans sharing referral and affiliate links. It doesn't ban the content itself, right? You can still you can still play slots on your stream.
right. Yeah.
And
you're right, it's weak. I was just going to agree with you on that.
And to the fact that you can't share or affiliate or referral link, that just means creators can now negotiate for a better flat rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can.
And that's another thing. I mean, Twitch is forcing content creators' hands and trying to use affiliate links because of all the content platforms out there. Twitch has the worst revenue share with their creators. The only reason that people stick with Twitch is because their ability to generate revenue through the site directly is much easier than it is on any other content creation platform like YouTube or any of those others. And so with that being said, they're keeping 50% of subscriptions, while on YouTube people get 70% of their memberships, and which 20% may not seem like a lot, but if you're raking in 100 to 200 300 subs memberships a month, that starts to make a substantial difference as time goes on. And so Twitch is forcing creators' hands and having to use affiliate and referral links, and then banning their ability to generate revenue through that, regardless of if it's like gambling, affiliate links, whatever. It's just like content creators are trying to find ways to generate revenue, because a lot of it comes down to the fact that viewership has dropped drastically since people have started having to go back to in-person school and in-person work. Like, everybody's seeing a drop in viewership, which is in turn seeing a drop in revenue. So it's like you're forcing their hand, but then banning their ability to do so on certain platforms. Although with it being gambling, it's like, fuck shit or get off the pot, as they say. Like, either get rid of gambling on the site or just don't. I mean, let it be the Wild West. Who cares?
Yeah. So
think of the children. Fuck them kids, bro.
So my biggest issue, so I won't say my biggest issue is, first off, how many people are getting paid to pay on certain websites and not disclosing that? That's been an issue in the past. T. Martin Syndicate, who owned, if people who don't know what I'm referring to there, T. Martin and Syndicate both owned CSGO Lotto, and then they would stream or do YouTube content of them gambling on CSGO Lotto, not disclosing the fact that they were the owners of the casino and playing with their own house money. And then they would also give money to other creators to play on the site, and it wasn't disclosed that they were playing with house money. So if you're getting paid to play on the site, are people properly disclosing that, right?
Right. The likelihood being no.
Yeah. Are they following? There are you have to There are rules and laws for advertising when it comes to gambling, I'm pretty sure. I know at least in radio, all of everything except for the state-owned lottery says if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. Please gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. That's a disclaimer at the end of every single sports book ad. Anything, any casino deals usually has that. I'm pretty sure it's also on all billboards, although in really small print.
Hell, the casinos around here actually have advertisements on the door, as you're walking in, visible. If you believe you have a problem, contact this number.
Yeah, the Iowa State Lottery every year runs PSAs that do the same thing, right? So are they properly disclosing, and are they meeting required advertising regulations? That's always a question I have, right? This is one of those things for me that bothers me about amateur broadcasting, is people do not understand law, media law. And how many creators do we know who all freaked out about the DMCA because they just simply did not know it was a law, right?
And they still wanted to throw blame elsewhere. It's an outdated law. That may be the case, but you need to know it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's outdated. It's still on the books.
ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah.
That's 101 right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, if someone is being paid, if someone has financial incentives to promote a gambling website, are they doing the proper and legal messaging? That's always my question. And Twitch does not want to be caught in the middle of that. Secondly,
Yeah, because I mean, really, real quick, like to your point, at what point does it get to where the FCC has to step in and take a hard stance on amateur broadcasting on what is and isn't allowed? And then it's like, because you have the DMCA things that they ended up having to like kind of shoehorn in some stuff and some legislation over like what punishments can be doled out for DMCA strikes and whatnot. And it came down to, well, the spirit of the law versus the word of the law, yada, yada, yada. And then everybody just kind of forgot about it, even though I think it passed. And then, because you have the gambling thing now with affiliate links. A lot of amateur broadcasters don't understand that you do have to fully disclose, even if it's so much as a free stream key or a Steam key that you were given. Like, if you were given a game key, you have to disclose that you were given a game key just to cover the game. Like, it's the law. And so there's so much that still, I mean, I mentioned earlier, let Twitch be the Wild West. It kind of still is. And at some point, if Twitch doesn't kind of reel this stuff in on their own, the FCC will end up stepping in and do it for them. And then we're all just going to have to be kind of stuck dealing with it. Like, so many people are going to have to quit. So many people are going to stop watching because it's going to you're going to have to abide by the rules of like standard television, or something along those lines.
It would probably be the FTC. Rather than the FCC. The FCC would probably be, it might be some content stuff, but the FTC more regulates advertising practices and business practices. And yeah, like disclosure.
That was on my desk.
Ew.
I dust in here.
But yeah, like disclosure, like properly disclosing financial stuff like that. Another thing is like, are they accurately describing like the deals that you get from the affiliate link, right? So like, here's a link. Here's my the Danny K referral link to slots.com. Make sure you don't misspell that with a spell that O. Right? So use my referral link to slots.com and you get $50 on like $50 bet, right? Like, are they accurately describing like you have to like you get $50 in free bets if you put $50 on your wallet, right? Like how?
Right. Well, they match your deposit like DraftKings does and stuff like
right?
that. Like,
are they saying, hey, this is only for residents of the United States? You must be 21 years or older. Right? Or like, right? So the legal gambling age in Iowa is 21, but in Minnesota it's 18.
Right?
In Florida.
In Florida, is it 18?
Yep.
Oklahoma, it's 18.
Yeah. So, right. So again, there's so much that goes into it that I don't trust. I do not trust other creators to do what's right or to know what to do what's right. Amateur broadcasting, and I say this with love, as an amateur broadcaster with a professional background, I say this with love. Amateur broadcasting is fraught with bullshit and people who do not understand anything related to broadcasting, who don't understand anything to the FTC or the FCC, who don't know how any of these regulations or laws work, and it gets people in a lot of trouble. And I don't trust people to understand it and to be able to accurately message their advertisements and to disclose their financial connections like they're supposed to. Some I think are malicious and some I think are just ignorant, and I think Twitch has to regulate that somehow.
Yeah, because like otherwise somebody higher up will.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that Twitch needs to work on. I think this is a step on the right direction for gambling on the site. Mostly because I think the messaging issues and potential legal issues when it comes to advertising that. I'm not sure. I thought online gambling like slots was illegal anyways.
I thought so too.
Dog.
So, but I'm not sure actually anymore because
Yeah.
like it's weird over like several years I've always found like some are always like, oh yeah, the casino. I think it varies state to state.
Yeah, I know like sports gambling wasn't legal in Iowa until, was it January 2021?
I think it was, no, it was 2020. Yeah, it was 2021, January.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah. So, well, no. I think it was January
Maybe it was-
2020.
Are you sure it wasn't like June 2020?
No, I remember very specifically that for Iowa, sports gambling became legal in 2020 because I had to go to a remote broadcast at a local casino right before the pandemic started. It was for the Super Bowl. Yeah, so but I think the online aspect of it opened up after a year because we got flooded with online advertising or advertising for online sports books like DraftKings.
Yeah, because it's like DraftKings has this weird thing where they were kind of in a loophole because it was almost like it was more like fantasy football almost or like fantasy sports as opposed to technically sports betting. And then DraftKings actually opened its own separate thing that was nothing but an online casino and sports book where you could directly bet on games or fights or whatever. And that was like, I mean, hell, even in Oklahoma, I can't access DraftKings actual sports book. I can just play DraftKings, which is weird because sports betting is legal in Oklahoma now, but I guess maybe just not online sports betting.
Yeah. It took a while for online sports betting to get legalized here in the state. Because they started opening up sports books, like William Hill, which is owned by Caesar's Palace, opened up a location at one of the local casinos here. But yeah. Anything else when it comes to Twitch banning gambling affiliate links and referral codes?
No, sir.
No? That's all I had for topics this week. You guys want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Wrap it up for one final time.
Rev, let's start with you. What's going on with you?
Well, so I'm kind of just like, I think I'm gonna kind of get away from more and more of the content creation in a sense of consistency and whatnot. I'm just gonna kind of stream what I want when I want moving forward. I'm kind of bailing on YouTube for now. That all may change once I finally get like my bearings straight and everything is super simple and I'm a lot better going forward. I don't know. We'll see. Aside from that, I mean, if you want to check out some like dank anime memes, you can follow Loot Anime just about anywhere. I'll be in charge of that.
Excellent. Of course, I put links in the chat. Links will be in the description of the episode. Guys, go give Rev some follows. Go give him some love. And pop up whenever he does. Rev, again, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And having you in partnership. It's been an absolute blast. And I look forward to having you on as a guest in the future.
Absolutely. I'm still getting game keys, so I have to cover them somewhere. Why not here?
Right? Green, what's coming up with you?
Well, I'm probably going to be playing some Apex and Destiny next week. Destiny's new season drops, so I'll definitely be playing a lot of that on Tuesday. But in the meantime, I'll probably do some Apex and maybe some Naraka. I've kind of gotten an itch for Escape from Tarkov again. So it's probably going to be, a little weird, unsure, but something first-person shooter. Catch me at twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. Also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all Mr. Green Elite, except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Green Elite. So,
gotcha. Coming up on my channel, Friday night, I'm probably going to play Hunt Showdown or Enlisted. Saturday night, whichever of those I don't play, I'll play the other. No, hold on. Whichever one of those I don't play on Friday, I'll play on Saturday. There we go.
Make it hunt on Friday.
Hunt on
I
Friday.
I won't be in town Saturday. So
Gotcha. Yeah, so Friday night we'll play and Friday night we'll play Enlisted. Saturday night, or I'm sorry, Hunt, and then Saturday night we'll play Enlisted. And then on Sunday we'll be continuing Metro Exodus, which I very much want to beat soon so I can do a review on, because I have some thoughts. I have some fucking thoughts that I want to share on that game. Other than that, you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, at DaniCae, DANIECAE. There's a fruit fly in my face. Fuck off. I'm also on YouTube. You can find me at DaniCae Media. It's also where this podcast gets posted every week. Every week we do have a question of the week. This week, in honor of Rev's farewell, tell us what your favorite moment of Rev's is on the show. Any running gags, any particular review, Rev rage moments, which I can't think of that many. But yeah, go on ahead and let us know in the comments, or you can tweet at us at DaniCae. Let us know your favorite moment from Rev. We don't have any official replacement for Rev yet. Green and I will be holding auditions. So if you guys are interested in auditioning to take Rev's place on the show, make sure you follow me on Twitter or reach out to me and ask how you can audition to be a co-host of Next to Nothing. Guys,
be prepared to record.
Yes, be prepared to record. So yeah, that's going to wrap up the show this week. Guys, we appreciate all of you for joining us. It means a lot to us that you take the time to watch and listen every week. If you miss any part of the show, you guys can watch and listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you guys want to join us live, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/DaniCae. If you want to help support the show, you guys can like, subscribe, and leave a comment. But the best way to support the show is by telling your friends, retweeting, sharing, all that good shit. Guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Keep fighting the good fight. We'll talk to you guys again next week. Goodbye.
Kisses.
Love you.